Hi, friends. Good morning, good evening, as per your time zone. I'm Kumkum Sharma from 𝐻𝐸𝐿𝐵ridge, and I'm back again on my Friday evening. On the behalf of 𝐻𝐸𝐿𝐵ridge team, I would like to welcome you all on live open session episode 13. And as I am committed with you for these sessions, and I'm bringing all the new trainers in helping you to understand the new certification and which certification is right for your career growth. And today I have Miss Prashamsa with me and my colleague Seema.
Right.
Hi, Prashamsa. Thank you very much for taking out time for this session with me. And just I'll give you the structure for this program. So, guys, no matters whether you're watching this from Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, you can post your questions here, and I'll include your questions. Prashamsa will help us to understand the Scaled Agile framework. And if you have any questions regarding the Scaled Agile, SAFe Scrum Master, SAFe Advanced Scrum Master, Leading SAFe, POPM, she'll help us to understand all your queries. We'll answer all your queries. And if you have something related to PMI, PMP, we can ask question to Seema. So let's not waste time anymore and start the session. So Prashamsa, just share something about your profile, your role in the organization.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Google. I have been working in the IT industry for the past 16 years, and I have been a developer. Then I moved into a lead position, and then I've been in the agile working environment for the past more than 10 to 12 years. I'm currently working as an RTE and a coach, and I
There is
have.
some background sound. Sorry to interrupt you, Prashamsa. Seema, can you mute yourself too? There is some background sound I'm getting. Go ahead, Prashamsa, now.
Yeah. So, I've been working in the IT industry for the past 16 years, and I'm working especially with the Agile and SAFe and Scrum frameworks for the past more than 10 years. I have been I'm currently working as an RTE and a coach. And I've also been working with the 𝐻𝐸𝐿𝐵ridge and have been training for the past year and a half, something like that. So,
Yeah, more
that's
than a
something.
year now.
Yeah. So that's a little bit about
Sounds great.
myself.
Sounds great. Sounds great, Prashamsa. So you said you're a RT and coach. So can you give just brief about this role? What is this release train engineer role and coach, and how they are adding value in the company?
So release train engineer, you can also call as a chief scrum master, who is scaling, coordinating all the dependencies with the other teams, making sure all the risks are, having heard of by the stakeholders, making sure that the agile release train is on the tracks. Working without any issues or dependencies or risks, and um, getting the right people at the right time to mitigate those risks to be able to be on the track and deliver your PI objectives or your goals or your business commitments that you have made in the PI blind events. So that's
Perfect. Perfect.
sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, that's like a 30,000 feet view of a chief scrum master or a release trained engineer. There is a lot that goes in. It's fun, it's exciting, and it's challenging too. So it always keeps you on the edge of the chair. So that's and as a release trained engineer, you're closely working with your teams, with your stakeholders, with your the whole arc. You will know where the things can be improved, where the things can be coached on, or some trainings are required. You would facilitate the trainings, and if you're working with a lace team, if you have a lace team in your organization, you will work with them to just make sure that those training sessions are coordinated for your stakeholders, and just make sure that they are trained if they are not on the um, agile basics or scrum basics, or if there's some pain points in your arcs, you can discuss those with the coaches as well. So that's like I said, 30,000 foot view of what an RTE or a coach does.
Wow, that's great. I'm finding this role very exciting, but yeah, of course, it must be challenging too. So I know you are taking the classes for the SAFe Scrum Master, SAFe Advanced Scrum Master, and leading SAFe too. So today, I mean, I want to start with the Scrum Master. So could you please share, some brief introduction about this SAFe Scrum Master certification?
Sure, Kumkum. See, the key, if you want to look at the safe Scrum Master, it's basically that you're working with multiple teams in your art, right? It's not you're managing your teams. I'd say managing, I take back, but you're working with your teams to make sure that your teams are meeting your um, um, iteration goals. You are working with your teams to make sure that there are no conflicts. You are expressing your servant leadership. While you're doing all that, you are also working with other teams, right? With other Scrum Masters to make sure that your deliverables are met if there are any dependencies with other teams, right? You're coordinating with all that. So it scales up a little bit with the safe framework. If your teams are, if your organization is implementing a safe framework, it scales up to to have conversations with other teams, to collaborate with other teams, to have working in a cooperative environment to be able to, cross team dependencies are met. You'll be working with your release train engineer closely to make sure that your teams are ready for the PI planning events, right? You will, if there are any risks that your team is facing that needs stakeholders' attention, you will work with your stakeholder with your RTE to make sure that those are um, identified and those are getting the right attention at the right time. So there's a lot that goes on in a safe framework, typically than in a Scrum or a lightweight framework.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you very much, Prashansa, for sharing all these information. We are getting few questions. I have a few more questions, so I'll go back on my questions later. I think we are getting some questions from audience. So, with your permission, I would like to add the questions.
Okay. So here I see I'm currently working in a safe environment as a Scrum Master for one of the teams in art. I'm so much aware of safe basics and PI planning and all this. Moving forward, I want to. This question is incomplete.
Yeah. So this is the follow-up question.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
enhance my safe skills as an agile consultant. So the information. So leading safe certification, or given that I have some background. So here the basic question is, where do I go from here? That's what the question seems to be, right? So I've been working on this as a Scrum Master already. So Ganesh, it depends on where you are looking for as the next steps. Do you want to go in the same facilitation track, or do you want to go into the product management track, right? So if you want to go and learn about all those things, you might want to go into leading safe, and that's a different separate track. But if you want to continue as a Scrum Master, you might want to get the advanced Scrum Master and try to see how you can help teams make them high performing teams, or how you can learn about not doing things, or doing things that that doing things the right way, or you want to go into the next step as a release train engineer and a coach, right? So that's a one track that you can take. The other track, if you do the leading safe, then you might want to go into it. Leading safe course is basically a course which provides like a high level view of everything in safe, so you can learn a little bit of portfolio management, you can learn a little bit on program management, you can also do the essential safe, right? So if you are taking that track, then you might want to go into the product. That leading safe is basically a basic step, and then there you can decide how you want to take it into a project or a product management scope. Does that help answer your question? Do you have more questions?
Yeah. So Ganesh, if you have follow-up question, you can post. And I think the last part of this question is safe SPC certification. This is the last thing posted by Ganesh.
Right. So SPC certification is basically where you are trying to get into a coach role, where you should have enough knowledge on. See, the certification you can get it done, but the whole idea is you having enough experience to be, to be able to help an organization with implementing SAFe, to be having enough experience to train teams on other SAFe certifications, right? So if you think you are at that point where you can take, say, SPC certification and start training other SAFe certifications, then sure, that might be the track for you too. But it goes, from, if you want to go step by step, you would take advanced scrum master, RTE, and then your coach role.
Perfect. Sounds great, Prashamsa. I think after reading this question, okay, this is the follow-up question by Ganesh. Okay, let's take this
Yes,
also.
you can. You can start with the leading safe, get the leading safe certified, so that you will get an overview of what safe is. Right? It's giving you like very high understanding of, like I said, PI planning event, your essential safe, your large solution, and then you will also go at the portfolio level. So you will get a clear understanding of what it is, and then you can decide if SPC is the right track for you.
Perfect. Sounds great, Prashamsa. And I think we got the thank you message from Ganesh. So I think he got the answer. So, but yeah, after reading Ganesh questions, I have one question. If somebody is looking for a coach level certification, okay, so which SAFe certification can help a coach?
I think it would be the SPC certification, implementation safe, implementing safe.
SPC. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. And now, what about SAFe Advanced Scrum Master? I
So
mean,
advanced
can
Scrum Master is somebody who's already been in a Scrum Master role, Kumkum. They have been working in a safe environment. They already know um, the dynamics of safe framework. Now you want to take it up to a level higher where you will learn a lot more of anti patterns, right? How do you make your teams high performing teams? You will learn more of things that you shouldn't be doing, like anti patterns, like I said. So that's taking up a notch, and then helping your teams um, get to that maturity that your teams are looking for. So taking up a notch, you would want to do your advanced Scrum Master. If you're just starting your Scrum Master professional career, or things like that, then you might want to start with a safe Scrum Master course, where you will learn a lot about the safe dynamics, and how safe framework works, and what are the team level ceremonies that you have to do as a Scrum Master. How do you help your teams, or how do you put your effort into PI planning? How do you coordinate that? How do you help your RTE? All that goes into the basic Scrum Master course.
okay, okay, perfect. That's great. So what I am understanding from you, so you can correct me if my understanding is wrong also. So the Safe Scrum Master is the first certification for the Scrum Master. Then they can go for the Safe Advanced Scrum Master, and then they can think about the RT, Release Train Engineer.
Ideally, so that will
I
give you, so it's not just the certifications that you have, it will give you that experience that you need as well, and that's really important, because you will go through a lot of situations and circumstances where you will have to adapt and learn to be able to put some things into implementation. So experience talks a lot, and certifications give that added notch to it. So I'd say that's the route that you want to take. Yes.
Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. So, Prashamsa, tell me one thing. I just wanted to understand how Safe Scrum Master is different from Certified Scrum Master.
Okay. So that is a good question, because when I look at the job descriptions for Scrum Master, you will see CSM or SSM. Anything with the Scrum Master certification is fine for us. But the key here is basically you will have to understand that Scrum is a lightweight framework, right? So it's mostly at the team level. It's looking at the team level. If you want to scale up, if your whole organization is going into the SAFe and Agile more than you would want to go for SAFe. So that meaning, with your CSM, you are more learned into working into your team and at the team level. But with this SAFe environment, you'll be working with other teams. You are prepping for the PI planning. You are pre-planning for your PI planning, right? You are doing your demos at the enterprise level, at the solution level. So I think this scales up to the enterprise level. And if your organization is scaling up to that level, SAFe Scrum Master course really helps.
Okay, okay. That sounds really great. And I think that would be my first question. But now we discussed about the SAFe Scrum Master and Certified Scrum Master. So now I want to actually, I'm going back on questions. So can you just brief us about SAFe versus Scrum?
SAFe versus Scrum. So basically, I told you, right, Kumkum, SAFe Scrum, let me start with Scrum. Scrum is a lightweight framework that helps teams to work together. Okay, it deals with co-located cross-functional teams, and the basic construct of Scrum is basically your teams. But on the other side, where you're looking at SAFe is a framework where it's for implementing Agile, it's implementing Lean and DevOps practices that you're scaling up at the organization or the enterprise level, right? So, and also it is, as we know, it is right now most popular framework, right? So if you are a large organization, if you are a bigger enterprise, then SAFe would be the right fit. If the organization wants to go at the want to transform into Agile. Now, like I said, it's been adapted at the enterprise level, so it's not at the team level. It's always scaling up. So you're working with your teams, your team of teams, which is called your agile release train. And then if you are in a large solution, your multiple agile release trains are working together in a large solution. And then it rolls up into another level, which is portfolio, where your leaders, your senior leadership of the organization are looking into your epics and budgets and initiatives and all those things. So it scales up all the way to the top leaders, from the top leadership to your teams, and that's what SAFe is all about. And the organizations, you will have to see if it fits your organization. If you're just one or two teams or one department or something like that at a smaller level, then SAFe might not be the right fit for you. So this will help you. So having the right folks at the right time when you are planning to transform would help you analyze better if Scrum is a better fit for the organization or going at scale. So that's basically the difference.
Perfect, perfect. I think that's a very well explained answer, Prashansa. I must appreciate this answer. So thank you very much for sharing this. And we have one question from audience. I think this question is for Seema. So let me just add the question.
Rajiv is asking, I'm a project manager. Which certification will help to work in agile projects? Of course, PMP. And because we think that the PMP is for traditional projects, but agile concepts are very well included long back in PMP certification. And now from January 2021, PMP content outline has changed significantly, and now there is a good weightage for agile projects. So whatever we learn in PMP, we learn from the various life cycle point of view, like this concept, how we look this concept in traditional project management practices, and how this concept will look in agile projects. And sometimes a project includes both the methodology, traditional and agile. So PMI also accept and encourage hybrid methods, because many times we cannot go only with traditional methods and only with the agile projects. So of course, PMP will help you.
Perfect, perfect. Sounds really great, Seema, and thanks for answering this. Rajiv, if you have follow-up question on this, please you can ask, and we'll wait. If whenever you'll post your question, we'll include your question again. So Prashansa, do we have anything in SAFe also
For Rajiv's question,
for the
sure,
project managers?
it depends. Definitely, it does. The ideal role, it again depends on where you are and what you want to do. If you want to get into your project management, see the whole thing with these certifications is it's just not a certifications. It's just also a change of your mindset, right? It's open and growth mindset that you're looking for. So if you are looking for that Scrum Master role, then you might want to consider having a SAFe Certified Scrum Master or things like that. Again, like I mentioned earlier, you can go back to that role: Scrum Master, Advanced Scrum Master, RTE, and a coach. But if you want to stick to the project and how the project works, because project management role, to my understanding, involves the budget. You're taking care of making budgets, and you're making sure that the timelines are meeting, right? So if you want to stay in that line, maybe you want to go into the product management space, right? So then you want to consider doing POPM course or LPM course for that matter. So it takes you a notch up in your career as well. Again, it depends on which path you want to take. There are different career paths, and based on your choice of the career path and where the market is and what you want to do, the right certifications are definitely there.
Perfect. Sounds great. So Seema, this is the follow-up thing we got from Rajiv. Yes, the PMP I'm doing. Apart from PMP, what other certifications is required?
Yeah, earlier
So,
we used to recommend PMI ACP also, if you are in project management. So get the agile practices knowledge, different agile approaches knowledge from PMI ACP, and understand project management processes from PMP. Now, after this change of PMP, I think PMI ACP is not needed, because whatever you need to understand different agile approaches and their concepts, you will learn from PMP also. So if you are looking for other PMI certifications, so I suggest DASM, where you will learn something different which can help in your projects. Because in DASM, we learn about a toolkit, discipline agile toolkit, which helps you to design your way of working based on your context. So, using this DSSM toolkit, you can use those concepts in a single project, or you can scale any agile approach. Uh, so, my suggestion is that if you really looking for other certification which can relate you with other PMI certification, then certainly DSSM is good.
perfect. Sounds great. So Rajiv, I think you're good with the Seema's questions. PMP can solve your problem, and if you are looking for some hybrid approaches, then you can go for the DSSM, Discipline Agile Scrum Master, Senior Scrum Master. So yeah, and now we have very interesting question for Prashansa. Let me just add this question for you. Did SAFe need a certain level of organization maturity to be applied?
Did SAFe need a certain level of organizational maturity? You will gain the maturity as you go along, right? So so there is an implementation roadmap in SAFe. That's what they call. So first, before you launch your senior leadership are trained. So they are getting adapted to that growth mindset. They are leading by example. They are, they are the ones who are driving it. So once that step is done, it happens step by step, and I think maturity is achieved as you go along, and it's not magic, right? So as long as you go in, nobody has a magic wand. I wish we did, but um, you get along, you will implement these processes, you will understand what's not working for the organization, and then you will get better, right? So you continuous learning is a process. So I don't think there is a certain level of maturity is required, but it's gained as you go along once you implement SAFe.
Perfect, perfect. Sounds really great. And Heather, if you have any, sorry, Hazard, if you have any follow-up questions, please post and let me know. I'll include your question again. So, yeah, Prashamsa, now I'm just curious to know one thing. There are a lot of certifications in SAFe we have, like SAFe Scrum Master, Leading SAFe, Advanced Scrum Master, POPM, and then LPM, SAFe APM, and there are other certification as well. So, how one can select the right certification for them?
That's a very good question, and a lot of folks are confused with it. And they will go with what's in the market, right? So typically, I would say you will have to research what's the right certification for you, right? What space are you in, and how is taking a certification adds value to it, either professionally or personally. What I mean by that is, um, there is something called professional credibility, right? So you're doing it while you're working so that a certification might add value, get you a promotion, or show it off to your leadership that you have taken a course, things like that. So that gets you the credibility that you need while you're working. So that's something that, again, already if you're working as a Scrum Master, maybe taking an advanced Scrum Master might help you to learn the anti patterns, like we said, which mostly focuses on anti patterns in high performing teams, right? So, or it gets you your personal satisfaction. It's like, okay, everybody is doing it. I might want to do it to learn and improve, which is part of your continuous learning, right? So some certifications help you get better salary. So that might be a cost too. So there are a lot of reasons out there why you want to do a certification or right certification. Choosing what's out there and how it helps you, how a certification adds a value to you, is the key. So if you are looking for a Scrum Master, I'd say my recommendation would be to look for the market, look for the job postings out there, see what kind of certifications are being asked by the companies that you are trying to get into, right? If they are large organizations, they would be looking for SAFe certification. So that adds value. And even when you go into the interviews and stuff, you would see that the even the organization, the job posting itself had SAFe in it. So you can talk more relatively into that as well. So it depends where you are and where you want to go to help choose the right certification. There are so many certifications, and again, it depends on are you in a product management space? If you are in a product management space, then POPM certification might be ideal for you. Or if you are at a manager, senior leadership level, then you want to learn a little bit more into budgets and initiatives. How do you categorize and how do you prioritize? Learn a little bit more into customer centricity, doing Gamble walks and things like that. That really helps. Or take an LPM class. That again helps. If you are at a team space where you are a developer or an architect, or working even in a government space, you would might want to take a
Seems
LPM
like
or
we lost Prashamsa. Our system is taking time.
I am able to hear her. She is audible.
Oh, okay. I think it's only.
is it is it okay, Kumkum?
Yeah, I think there was something went wrong with my internet. I
Okay,
got
no worries.
confused. Oh, please carry on.
No worries. So again, just to sum it up, it depends on what space you are in. If you are in a product management space, POPM, LPM might be better if you're in a team space than an architect or a safe for teams if you're just starting, say which is safe practitioner course. That might help. Or if you are DevOps, trying to get your organization start with the DevOps implementation, then Safe provides that 2-day course on Safe DevOps. So that might be the right path for you. And if you are looking for something like a Scrum Master and or that Agile coach, you want to get into an Agile coach role and things like that, then you might want to do SPC or start with an RTE role and things like that. So it depends on where you are and where you want to get to. That's more important.
Yeah, that's really nice, really nice. So now I think we should not Google this which certification is right. We have to think like, okay, what is my current role? What kind of role I am looking for? Okay, now I have a question. So if I am new for, I mean, SAFe is new for me. Okay, so which certification is right for me? From where should I start my SAFe journey?
So if it's a basic, um, so if you're brand new, you don't know what you want to get into, I would recommend you to take Leading Safe course. So where it's talking about, like I said earlier, your essential safe. There are three for the folks who don't know what layers that safe have. You have your essential safe, which is at the team level, where you are performing your agile release train and working towards your iteration plans and PI plans and things like that, where it takes up scales up a little bit at the large solution level, where multiple arts are working towards delivering value. And then when you take it up, there is your portfolio, where your senior leadership is working on your epics and initiatives, where the budget is looked at and what and looked at the roadmap is being worked on by the senior leadership, right? In coordinates with your architect. So I think I would start with Leading Safe.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So, and these suggestions, I mean, the leading safe suggestion, if some organization is going for a safe implementation and they have non-IT people, then what is your recommendation?
I think still I would say if your organization is going safe and started to adapt to safe framework, then again I would say Leading Safe would be a good start because it's giving you the overall idea. But as you go through that implementation roadmap, right? Um, where are you in there are several stages. Where are you ready to launch are you at the tipping point or at the beginning space where if your leadership want to get the overview of what's going on, so then you would want to train your leadership in Leading Safe. But if it's just your teams, right, so safe practitioner might be the right course. They would get an overview of what safe is, what ceremonies are, what's the role of teams that's they're supposed to do, the importance of agile teams, how the agile teams should work together, how they should collaborate and bring the transparency that we want to scale it up to the senior leadership level, right? So all these workings are in there. And if you're already an architect, how does it help you in a safe space? So again, like it depends on your role, Kumkum. If this organization already is just starting to implement, maybe you find a group of architects and get them safe certified architects, right? You might find some group of folks who would be doing the DevOps work, then just get them trained in the DevOps work, and you have your teams, get them trained in the safe for teams or safe practitioner, as we say. So there are different certifications that SAFe offers for different folks. Again, when you're doing implementation at the organization level, you might want to consider what value are you trying to achieve. That's the key. Like, who is your audience? If it's teams, again, depends on the certification. So who's your audience and what value are you trying to get out of?
Okay, okay, perfect. Sounds really great. And I think I would prefer to go little more deep down in the, safe roadmap. Okay, we'll discuss the safe roadmap little later. We have one more questions from audience. So let me just take that question first. And Prashamsa, meanwhile, you can have some water also. So, because I have many questions for you. So, I think this question is Seema can take. Actually, I'm going to PMI certificate when I feel the need to improve my knowledge on some areas. I have ACP, PMP certificate. I am practicing Agile, but I cannot feel the need to have SAFe DSM. What is my problem? Wow.
That's a good question.
Seema, you're on mute, I think.
Sorry, I was speaking in mute mode. Sorry. So, to answer this question, I need to understand that where he's feeling that he needs to improve in knowledge. So, based on that, I can answer. So, I request to frame your follow-up question. So, what is your problem? We need to understand to answer this question.
So, Hazar, sorry, but we need more clarification on these questions. So, you have to define your problem little more details. Then we can help you more. And
I
Seema, why don't you share your LinkedIn profile here? So, I mean, people can connect you with the LinkedIn as well. Yeah, Prashamsa, you were saying something.
No, I was just saying maybe you don't have enough knowledge of what SAFe is or what DSM is. Maybe just try to get to learn a little bit more, get an overview of what SAFe is, what DSM is, see how it aligns with your career. Maybe that gives you a little bit more insight into what it is. Um, Maybe a little bit more research.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, if there is a comparison between SAFe and DSM, so I think if the organization on hybrid approach, then the DSM can solve the problem, and if organization on SAFe framework, then of course you have to go for the some SAFe frame certification.
Yeah, just to add, if we talk about difference between SAFe and DSSM, then mostly SAFe framework is used in large complex projects where multiple teams are working together, and the tailoring in SAFe is easy because it's a descriptive framework. We know that what are the roles, what are the ceremonies, and how to coordinate between teams. But in DSSM, here we can scale any agile approach. What we need to put our experience to because they doesn't define, they do not define any particular path to scale, and you can use these concepts in a single team also and to a very large complex project. So here we need a experience to scale things and how we can use the concepts which we learn during this certification. We need to understand that how to design our way of working. So since it is descriptive framework, it is easier to adapt for large complex project, and DSSM really needs experience because there is no prescriptive path for DSSM.
Perfect. Thanks, Seema. And Hazar, if you have any follow-up question and or else if you want to explain more about your question, we'll wait for the follow-up question. You can drop your questions and I'll include your questions whenever I'll receive the questions. So let's go back. Let's jump again on our favorite topic, safe framework. So Prashamsa, how you can explain the entire roadmap, safe roadmap?
Well, SAFe actually does a very good job by itself to look at what the roadmap is, where and how you can launch things. Maybe if I am able to share my screen, I can show you that
Oh,
screen.
yes, you could.
Actually, let me try to figure this out.
There is a share button down.
Yeah,
Just
just trying to go there. Um, So I don't know if you are able to see my screen here, but you
Yes.
should be looking at a scaled Agile's implementation roadmap. This is available in a scaled Agile framework website as well. So this gives you where you are and how do you go along while you go along, right? So you've just started here at the waterfall, you're just trying to go safe. You would train your leadership, and if you are in a working in a government or a federal space, you would train the folks on what's needed for government space, and then trying to understand, and then you will have your train your right people to implement SAFe, get the SPC certification, get the understanding of you know what lean, what agile is, and so that they can help your organization coach the right folks, right? So having those SPCs come in and help you. Initially, the you might want to take help from Scale Agile itself, and they can help with sending some of the SPCs to your organization to train some of the folks, or you can get your identify the right folks at your organization and get them trained ahead for your SPCs. And once you have that, they'll be able to train and guide the right folks and get the right certifications and train your executives, managers, your leaders accordingly in your leading SAFe, where it gives you an idea, an overview of what SAFe is, what are the key constructs of SAFe, what are the workings of SAFe, and the dynamics of it, right? And the lean portfolio management helps the leadership, the managers, the leaders to identify or organize the budgets, identify the epics for your upcoming multiple years, right? And then you will identify your value streams, your agile release trains. Okay, how do we make the composition of the teams? What are the workings of how a product is moving from steps involved to complete the whole product delivery, right? So, and you identify your agile release trains, and then you create your implementation roadmap. And then you train for the you identify your roles of a product owner and scrum master, and your architects, and train them so that you can start getting ready for your launch preparation, right? And then you train your teams, like I was saying earlier. You would train your teams as SAFe practitioners who would be learning and on understanding how it works and working how the organization scale up and work together, right? So, and then once you have you will get your understanding, so that you have all the key folks that are needed are very well trained here up until the PI planning. So now you get your APMs, a product management certification done for identifying the right folks there as well. So this is all a structured way to help you identify where we are, how we launch, and in the way we find the right folks to um, get them certified, so that they'll be helping with the right processes, right? And then how is it done? How are you doing branching? How are you doing DevOps, which is development and operations together? Get the right folks certified who can help you with the releases of the products. The whole, again, an important point of a SAFe is that your mindset is moving from the project world to the product world. There is not You're not managing anything here. You are delivering the value to the customers, right? It's all about the economics of it. So you are learning, so you're maturing at a high level from the economics, and you're also implementing all those lean and agile principles while you are getting ready for the launch or acceleration mode of an art. So these are the certifications that are provided by the SAFe itself, and this roadmap can be found on the SAFe Scaled Agile website. So that this is very clickable and very interactive website that you can click and learn more and understand what are the other certifications and where does this fit and how does that help your career accelerate. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Prashant. And I really like the one definition you said. It's not a project way of working, it's a product way of working. You're not managing anything, you're delivering here. So that sounds really great to me. So I think that's described the entire framework for me. Perfect. That's really nice. So, guys, as we are in last 15 minutes of our session, if you have any questions on any SAFe certification, you want to raise your concern, doubts, clarification, exam-related fears, just this is the forum. You can ask questions, and I'll include your questions. If you're watching from Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, just in the comment section, you can add your questions, and I'll include your question. So as I have my list, and these questions I've received, our sales team received from the people who are inquiring about the certifications and all. So I have one question: what type of project are usually done in SAFe?
What type of projects? So remember how I told you that they're moving away from projects. There are no projects. There are products. They are looking into, what products are needed for the customers. They are looking in more at the customer centricity. So they are like, if you want to still call it projects, right? The safe projects, as still the word calls projects. So I'm going to stick to that term. Um, they are essentially driven towards coordinating the delivery, right? So you're, what do you want to deliver? The product, the emphasis on the product rather than a project, right? And then collaboration. So how is it? How who do I need? How do I collaborate with us with others? And how, as an organization, will I be able to deliver this product to my customer, right? Alignment again. So this is across the teams, right? So you're working on different teams, you are coordinating, there is a lot of alignment that is required at different levels to be able to deliver the right product at the right time, and so that you can get the maximum value. So that's the key. And those kind of products um, is where it really helps if you implement safe. They see, lean or safe projects. They typically incorporate three kinds of thinking strategies, if you will. Systems thinking, you're always thinking about your system as a whole. Even whatever solution that you're developing, that is, you're thinking at a higher level. How is it going to impact? How is it going to scale up to my organization or an enterprise? And then you have your product development strategies, and then you also have your agile software development strategies. You combine all these three things in safe to be able to deliver value at the right time, and deliver faster to the customers, right? So again, like we discussed this for the past like 45 minutes, this happens at different levels. So all the projects which make sense to this environment, that's where it's all done in safe. Make sense, Kumkum? I don't know if you have a follow-up question.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah.
And I think
So
the whole concept was developed for the organizations that deal with the problem of product scaling, right? So how can I scale the product? That's the key.
perfect, perfect. Sounds really great. So now I'm just, I mean, we didn't touch this topic since a long time. We are discussing about the SAFe Scrum Master and Advanced Scrum Master. So, what about this POPM? I mean, what is this POPM certification, and who will get the benefit from this certification?
POPM is so in the waterfall, the organizations that are following project based work, it might be a right certification who are trying to move into agile, where you have a, like I said, how in scale, how in safe, you have different levels, if you will. Like your essential safe level, you need a product owner who's working closely with the product manager. Um, to be able to identify the right value and to deliver in the right time. That coordination that happens, there are a lot of myths or misunderstandings between the role of a product owner and the product manager. So they confuse a lot, and but SAFe gives you that clear understanding of what a PO or a product owner is, and what role or the responsibilities of a product manager are, and how they collaborate together to deliver the value. Your product owner mainly focuses on your team backlog, and your product manager focuses on your higher level feature backlog, right? So that clear definition and differentiation, and also help you understand how to collaborate together, and how the flow works, to be able to deliver the right value at the right time. I think that's really helpful for the folks who are trying to get into that space.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Prashantsa. And is there any prerequisite to join this POPM certification?
Uh, not to my knowledge. It's basically if you have an understanding of how it all works, and you can start off as a, I think SAFe gives you that enough knowledge on how to start. And if you take the certification, it gives you a clear understanding. And the exam is not that easy. So you will have to study to clear that examination, which ensures you that you are gaining something out of it, right? It's not that easy that you can just get it done in an hour or two, and then, but you'll have to prepare for the exam. You have to get the understanding. So I think that gives you enough start to be able to get into a new career as well. But if you have an experience in how it's done, that would definitely be helpful. If you have understanding of how agile works, how lean works, I think that would really be helpful.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was asking you this question about the examination because, see, no matters whether it's a SAFe Scrum Master, it's leading SAFe, Advanced Scrum Master, or POPM or LPM. Every time, I mean, whenever I am discussing with the people, they're asking me this question. So, how about the exam? Is it difficult? So, I mean, I have that standard answer, and in every session, I'm sharing this information. Guys, if you'll read, if you will be mentally present in the class entire time, the cracking exam is not that difficult. But if you're not reading, you're not focusing on the content, and I think with the SAFe community, they have lot of things. You have to log in and check the community portal and read about the stuff. They have a lot of videos and other stuff. So if you're reading, then nothing is difficult. But tell me, I mean, how about this SASM, Safe Advanced Scrum Master? The exam is difficult or not?
That is an intermediate level of difficulty. If you take your Scrum Master, if you take your leading SAFe, they are at the foundation level. If you go to SAFe website as well, they clearly tell you that these are the foundational level exams. So this is SAFe Advanced Scrum Master is at an intermediate level, so which is at a higher level. So it is going to be a little tricky, I would say, to understand those questions, provided and then I think number of questions in advanced Scrum Master are more too. I don't want to freak everybody out, but honestly, it should not be a big problem at all the material is right there in your website, Scaled Agile website. You can get all the information and more for preparing for that website. And SAFe does a very good job of giving you the digital workbooks, which should be good enough for you to um, get get the concepts well, understand the concepts well, so that you'll be able to easily um, get through the exam or the certification. And they also have practice tests. And for some of the courses, I think 𝐸𝐻𝐵ridge is also providing some practice tests So I think that helps as well to cracking a certification test. But I don't think that's a difficult thing. As like Kunkum mentioned, as long as you are present, you understand what you're doing and why you're doing, and collaborate with your classmates in the class, make it a more like a discussion rather than a training. I think it should not be a big deal to get through any exam as well.
Sounds great. So one last question I would like to ask you, and then I think we have very less time now. So what practical skills I can expect to have after completing the SAFe POPM?
You will get into product management space. You will understand how to prioritize your work for the team. If you are a product owner, you will understand how to prioritize the work for across the teams. If you are a product manager, right? So the prioritization is the key. You will understand how how to work with respect to your customers needs, and that's the key, right? So your customer centricity is if you look at the safe principles or anything like that, the competencies, they are all centered towards your customer. And I think you will learn a little bit more on product. So I think that helps you to understand if you are in that space. Yes. So those are the skills I think that will help. That you will learn.
Perfect, perfect. Sounds really awesome. So now I think we have last 3 minutes, and in last 3 minutes, I just this is the 13th session, Prashamsa, and there are a lot of people are joining this session, and I've invited many trainers. So the whole purpose, again, I just would like to share with the audience. It's the agenda of these sessions are driven by you only. Okay, and my goal to run these sessions on my Friday evening, not having party with friends, just conducting these sessions, it's just to help professional to select the right certification for their career growth. And because I've discussed with so many people, and sometimes they realize after finishing the training and certification, no, this was not the right, and they're looking for the change, and they are getting these kind of job openings. So this is not the right certification for them. So this is your hard-earned money. It's good to join these session and ask your questions with the experts and get the clarity, and just all the best from my side, and maybe you'll decide the right certification for your career growth. So Prashamsa, any last minute thought would you like to share with our audience?
No, I recommend to do the good market research, understand where you are and where you want to go. I think that really helps to identify the right certification. And it's as long as you are you understand where you're going and what you want to get out of it. Nothing can stop you. So and we are there to help you through that journey. So just let us know how we can help.
Yeah. So that's from my side too. So you're joining these sessions and asking questions. If you have any questions, just let us know. I'm available on LinkedIn, and generally I'm very active on LinkedIn. So I immediately answer the questions, and you can post your questions on sales@eisenbridge.com, and we answer all your queries. And Seema is also available, and Prashamsa is also available on LinkedIn, so you can connect us on LinkedIn, and we'll be definitely answer your questions. So any last minute thought, Seema, would you like to share with the audience?
Yeah, sometimes during this session only, I felt that some candidates needs more discussion about their particular requirement, what challenges they are facing. So for that, we can give a one-on-one conversation. Just connect to us. We will discuss your role, your responsibilities, and where you want to grow in your profile. So based on that, we can discuss. So connect to us.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Seema, and thank you very much, Prashamsa, for taking out time for this session. And this now the time is saying goodbye to our audience, and we'll catch up again on next Friday, same time, 7 p.m. IST, my time. I don't know from which location you're joining. Just calculate and please join us and ask your questions. You can post your questions in advance as well. So stay safe, Stay inside and take care of yourself, and wish you a very happy weekend. Bye for now.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night, great day.